Hello and happy Wednesday. It's Angus here at the Bureau of Meteorology. This is the National Weather Forecast with a focus on Thursday's weather forecast, and there's plenty of fine patches around the country for Thursday, but definitely a few things to keep us on our toes, including this cold front across Tasmania. It is cold, wet and windy down there on Thursday. This trough line and general area of storminess extending through parts of South Australia, the Territory and Western Australia will continue to bring some wet weather to the interior on Thursday. And one extra thing that you can't really see on this map is the potential for a view of the aurora. That's tonight and overnight, so late Wednesday, early Thursday. People between Sydney and Perth or anyone south of that may get a view of the aurora after dark tonight. Try and head to a dark area and look to the southern horizon if you are interested in trying to take a peek. For the country on Thursday, starting in Queensland, a mostly fine, settled and sunny day here. 27 degrees is the high for Brisbane, and broadly speaking, high 20s in the southeast, tending to low 30s as you trek your way up the coastline. In the afternoon, we could see some showers and storms develop over inland areas from the Maranoa Warrego through the central west, up towards the northern goldfields and across the Cape York Peninsula, and they could bring some moderate rainfall totals to some of those central areas. New South Wales will have a fine day. It's another fairly cool morning on Thursday, although not as cold as it was on Wednesday morning when we saw some record-setting minimum temperatures be reached. After that fresh start to the day, it's much warmer in the afternoon. The sun comes out and really heats things up, heading towards 28 in Sydney, but that could be 30 for other parts of the east coast and mid-20s to low 30s for inland and western areas. Also mostly fine day in terms of that overhead weather for Victoria, although the wind will be blowing down here across the state. Many places seeing wind gusts between 40 and 50 kilometres an hour, although in the mountains and in the far north that could be even slightly stronger. That will lead to some elevated fire danger, including the potential for some extreme fire danger around the Mallee. Daytime temperatures are likely to be in the mid-20s for most of the state, but there will be an afternoon wind change down south which cools things off a couple of degrees and might bring a quick shower to the far southwest coast. Cold, wet and windy on Thursday is the name of the game for Tasmania. We have actually got some damaging wind warnings, which I've put on the map here in yellow across the northeast and the south of the state. Winds could gust up to or over 100 kilometres an hour in those areas through parts of Thursday. There will be a spell of rain across the entire state tomorrow as well, so no matter where you live, probably seeing a bit of wet weather, unless you're up in the mountains when that rain will come through as snowfall, as the snow does lower to about 600 metres during Thursday. For South Australia, there will be a band of showers and storms that starts off in the west and through the morning pushes into the Eyre Peninsula and then into the afternoon. While thunderstorms look less likely after lunch, we could see some showers certainly throughout Adelaide, across the Murraylands, the Riverlands as well, and fairly extensive wet weather through the second half of the day. In terms of how much rain falls, though it's not a lot, between 2 and 5 millimetres for most areas, we will see higher totals than that with those storms around the Eyre Peninsula and the Western Districts, potentially 15 or 20 millimetres for some areas. A fine and settled day is in store for tomorrow for Western Australia, and it's a little bit cooler than it has been through the week so far. That's because a southerly wind has developed, at least across the south of the state from Geraldton southwards, and temperatures in those areas are back into the 20s after they've mostly been in the 30s earlier this week. There are some showers and thunderstorms expected in the far east of WA, and that continues up across this area here as well, through the Kimberley, the northern interior, and across the border into some southern parts of the Northern Territory. Could even see some severe thunderstorms. That means maybe pockets of heavy rain or damaging wind around Uluru and Ulara, as well as many other inland areas. At this time of year, temperatures are always going to be at the high 20s at a minimum. Most places are in the 30s, and some spots that's the high 30s, like Tennant Creek here, headed towards 39. If you would like any more weather info for this week or the weekend, you can head to the BOM weather app or the BOM website. Thanks very much for watching.